Today we're going to look at cauliflower and how to use it in a root to leaf kind of way. We pick and trim our collies in the field and we leave loads of leaf on the outside. This acts as a natural packaging. It means we don't need to use any plastic, but also these leaves are perfectly usable as well. Inside we have the white immature flower head that chefs and farmers always refer to as curds. And basically if you left this in the field, that would push up and they would sprout up into flowers, but we're picking it at this early stage and that's what we want from the cauliflower. So we're going to take this apart and look at how many different ways you can use it in the kitchen. So the first thing you want to do is break away the leaves. They easily snap off with a nice satisfying crunch. We don't want to waste any of those leaves. We'll take the smaller, slightly lighter leaves from the inside and you can stack those up on top of each other, roll them up like a cigar, and then finely slice them, and you can use those for stir fries or adding into soups and stews. The outer leaves have got a slightly thicker stalk on them. Tend to trim that stalk away, and then you can use those leaves whole as a side of greens or fold them into your cauliflower cheese as well. So they're all perfectly usable, maybe a little bit of wastage from the bottom of the stalks. Now the next step is to remove the stalk, cut it close to the bottom of the cauliflower, take it apart. You're left with the whole head and the stalk. We'll put the stalk to one side and we can come back to that later. And then you've got what's arguably your biggest cut, which is your whole head of cauliflower. Now, before you break this down, some people use this as a whole piece. They smother it in spices and flavors and they bake it whole in the oven and then carve it at the table, almost like a roast. So that's quite a popular cut now. So as long as you've cut your stalk away close to the bottom, that's how you would cut for a whole head of cauliflower. Now the next cut we're going to look at is the idea of cutting thick slices of cauliflower. Now this can be really good for roasting because it gives you a good contact area with the roasting pan. Some people refer to them as steaks and they cook them in a frying pan, but basically you're cutting from the root to the top across the head and you're ending up with these thick slices. They can either be braised or fried or roasted and it gives you a lot more surface area. Now we've got the most recognizable cut, which is florets of cauliflower. So you're cutting down into the head and breaking them off along the natural lines and natural stalks. Now you can cut them large, which is perfect for cauliflower cheese, or you can cut them a little bit smaller and they're easily cooked into stews or braises or even roasted in the oven. They'll take about 10 to 12 minutes in a high oven to roast. So you can choose the size of your floret depending on how you want to use them. You simply break them down by cutting them through the stalks. So the next cut is a very contemporary and arguably controversial cut. It's called cauliflower rice, or some people refer to it as cauliflower couscous. And all you're doing is breaking the cauliflower down into small pieces, braising it or frying it in a pan. As with any cauliflower dish, whatever flavors you want to add to it, it will carry really, really well. So you can take a knife and roughly chop it until you get a kind of coarse breadcrumb texture, or you can use a box grater and grate the whole head against that, or put it into a food processor and pulse it until it's chopped up to your liking. And the final piece is the stalk, which at first sight looks like it should go straight into the compost bin. But actually if you trim around it along the outside, there is a tender heart to it. You can slice away those outsides, thinly slice the stalk, and then cut them into batons and very thin slices. And that's perfect for a stir fry, or even to add alongside the small florets that you've cut earlier on, and they're all perfectly usable. And then at the end you should be left with nothing but a small handful of waste, which is this trim from around the stalk. So that gives you 7 different cuts from your cauliflower. Hopefully that will give you some new ideas, a different way to approach it, and give you as little waste as possible. Thanks for watching, and if there's any other veg that you'd like to see us take apart or talk about, please leave some comments below.